All right, so obviously I covered Michigan. So first off, like, what's your impression of Michigan? Things obviously changing with no more Jim Harbaugh. You got Sherrone Moore. Some of the talent gone, but there's still like 3 honorees from the Big Ten preseason. So what are your general impressions of where they're at right now?
My general impressions are that you don't get to the national championship game, win a national championship, unless you also have a lot of depth behind the stars that are no longer there. Mm-hmm. So I would say that they're one of the few programs that you pencil in now every year as having a shot at this new 12-team deal we've got. So, yeah, new coach, but he got some experience last year, right? New quarterback, a lot of new pieces, but, it's Michigan. And I think of, like, the Georgia teams that almost won 3 straight national championships, right? They had guys backing up guys. And with the kind of recruiting that they've had and the success that they've had on and off the field and the power of the brand that they now have restored, they're in great shape. Maybe they're not beating Ohio State this year because of the human element and Ohio State's rebuilt roster. But Michigan's one of those teams that you're insane if you take them out of the top 15 going into this season.
I just lost my train of thought because that was really interesting what you said there about just kind of the general recruiting element of it. It's been a lot more developmental for Michigan in a lot of ways, but it is a big brand. Why do you think that they've been able to kind of survive with that kind of blend of like development and talent, whereas maybe it seems like other schools more so rely heavily on just getting higher end talent?
I think a lot of that work is done up front with who you bring in from high school. I don't follow the recruiting stuff. Right. Like, I'm not knee deep. I'm about ankle deep. Yeah. I follow. Where their rankings are and kind of just generally who goes where. But
yeah, I didn't mean to ask you a recruiting question.
No, it's okay.
Just like a general.
Like, you're the winningest program of all time, or back and forth. I'm old enough to know Michigan was one of the first schools you think of when you think about college football. And so they just won the national championship. Great school to go to, amazing community to be at, great rivalries that now you're adding some other great storied programs to the conference and the schedule. You won't always have all of them, but to me, it's one of the few schools where you get that offer, whether it's athletic or academic, you're going.
Sherrone Moore, first-time head coach. It doesn't seem like he's getting quite the talk that some of the others that had kind of a similar situation as him, when you look at like Marcus Freeman, who had a short interim period at Notre Dame before he took over as the head coach. Ryan Day had 3 games, and it seemed like when they both took over, they were kind of the talk of the town as being that guy. Sherrone doesn't seem like he's getting quite that. What is your impressions of him, and why do you think that maybe he's not getting that type of national hype?
I think lack of hype is good, actually. And I also think that Jim Harbaugh was the magnet for praise, criticism, attention, quotes, and I don't think he purposely over-sheltered the assistants on the team, but with so much attention on everything on and off the field that took place under Jim Harbaugh, the assistants, whatever minor roles there were with the recruiting aspects, fine, but they got to do their jobs, and now we get to see them do it. So I think if anyone needs to make a quote about whether he's going to be an elite head coach or not, I would just save your thoughts and watch and see him do it. He obviously won his chances last year, and you don't just hand the Michigan head coaching job to anybody. So there's a proving ground among the people who need to make that decision, and now we'll see if they're right.
Michigan repeats the national championship if blank.
Okay, all right. A lot obviously would have to come together. We can agree on that, right? Yeah. I think if it's still that defense, because we're focusing a lot on Ohio State's new offensive weapons, even though they added Caleb Downs and got Denzel Burke back. Oregon, to me, I'm thinking about their offense. If Michigan's defense can frustrate teams the way they have, that would be their chance. That would be their chance. Obviously, they have to make it to the playoff, but it's their defense, to me, that leads the way, if it wasn't already.
Awesome. Thank you.